Hi, Celebrate Recovery family. My name's Candy, and I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. And I'm in recovery for codependency, emotional eating, and people pleasing. And I am really glad to be here with you again tonight. And I can't wait for the time when we're going to be together in person. And just let me say that we are planning our next in-person meeting. Mark Miranda is already planning firing up the grill again. We don't know what he's going to be putting on it, but it will be a barbecue, and we're going to be having chip night. We'll be celebrating all of our our Celebrate Recovery birthdays. So that's something really to look forward to. And as soon as we get firm on the date and the plans, we'll be letting you know about that. Until then, we're meeting on Zoom. And so tonight we have something special for you. Richard Ash is going to be sharing his testimony with Tim Fazio.
Good evening, CR family. I'm Tim Fazio. I'm a grateful believer in our Lord Jesus Christ who struggles with feelings of inadequacy, anger, and lust. And I've got a good friend on the line with me today that we're going to interview, Richard Ash. Richard, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name's Richard Ash. I celebrate recovery from alcohol and drug abuse, and been involved with CR for the last 7 years or so. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, we go back a little ways. We went to Papua New Guinea together. That was, I think you had just said to me, about 3 years ago, maybe a little longer. And got to know each other as short-term mission trips. And you kept talking about the CR stuff, which I had very little knowledge about at that time. And weird how the Lord works, right? Now we're working together. So tell me a little bit about how long have you been involved with CR and 12 steps? And I know you've done a number of the 12 steps.
Yeah, I've been involved with Celebrate Recovery for, I want to say, a little over 7 years now. I started my recovery at about 50, and I had some really good friends there at ABC who brought me into in the middle of my very first 12-step program, and I finished with them. So there was an incomplete, but it got me interested. It brought me in. And then I ended up completing two subsequent 12-step programs from there, and then got involved in leadership and various aspects of Celebrate Recovery, just helping, supporting, fill in where leadership and support was needed. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I know you were heavily involved in Thursday nights for quite some time.
Absolutely.
And you've now kind of gotten a little bit involved more with the Broken Change, which is a facet of CR as well.
That's right.
So yeah, so you're staying involved and staying engaged in CR and have been for a number of years.
Yes, got to stay connected.
And that is so true, Richard. Staying connected is so critical in this ministry and in all of our recovering from our hurts, habits, and hangups. And so, but go back to when you first started, when you first walked through the door. What was it like? What was it like when you first walked through the door? What were you feeling? What happened?
Well, I had been going to ABC Church for many, many years, and when I got invited, I showed up just sort of expecting church. I really didn't know what to anticipate. So it didn't feel like church. There was testimony and transparency, and I'll be quite honest, it wasn't quite the precision that you have on Sunday morning church. So I don't know, I think I felt a little more relaxed. I just appreciated the testimony and the transparency and the honesty and openness of everybody that was in leadership and anybody that spoke in the crowd.
So you went to CR, and how long ago was that again?
My first CR class was Thursday night was probably 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
7 years ago.
So 7 years ago, you walked in, and you can still remember. What brought you there? what was your bottom when you said I need to change? What was that?
Yeah. Well, thank God for good friends, because people that know you know when you're struggling. And I was really having a hard time. And one of the bottom line, what happened is I was out with friends and not sober. I came home intoxicated. Um, they brought me home. I came in the house. I pushed my way through, and my son was in my path, and he saw me intoxicated. I pushed him out of the way so that I could go into my room and pass out. It's a memory I'll never forget, and one that I know he won't. But it was a turning point for me, realizing that this life isn't healthy, and I need to turn things around.
And I know you've had a lot of health issues as well. But when you went through that bottom, how long was it before you actually got into Celebrate Recovery?
It was my first 12 step was within a year of that
Wow.
event. It took me a little while, you know. I had some habits and some hangups and some hurts that I needed to get through. I had stopped drinking. I relapsed a year later. I realized that my lifestyle hadn't changed. So that was really the challenge. But after about 2 years into the program, I finished my first complete 12-step program. Yeah, great transition in my life.
Yeah. Well, and it seems to be not just the transition that you needed at the time, but it's something that you used to maintain. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
And as a ministry as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Um, Staying connected with people that are open and transparent and honest with you, people that are going through the same challenges and struggles that you are, have an understanding and compassion, maybe, the openness, the transparency, and the honesty you share with each other, especially in a men's group on Thursday night, um, just brings a level of trust that enables growth. And I think when you get that environment where there's trust and you feel safe, you're going to open up and be honest and share with each other. And I did with a lot of guys throughout my years in Celebrate Recovery as a 12-step or as a Thursday night group leader. But just, being there, being involved, staying connected, getting the support and encouragement, and offering support and encouragement, because we're all going through this together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't agree more with you about the openness and the sharing. I'm doing my first 12 step this year. And I know we've talked about that. And but it's really interesting how when other men, and I can only speak for the men, I know the women do this as well, but when other men start to share their intimate, struggles, it surely makes it a lot easier for me to do the same.
Absolutely.
And it's just uplifting to go through the process. So very helpful. Tell me about this. There's 12 steps. Richard, what was the step, biggest step, most effective step for you?
Well, I look back, I think how each one of those steps were an integral part of my life. But as I was going through my first 12 step, the fourth step, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. That was paramount for me. That was after having some sobriety and clarity of thought, and the ability to really grasp where I am, where I'm going, and that God is actually working in my life. It was pivotal in my everyday life, because I realized this is something I need to do every day. It was not only a part of the 12 steps, and it was not only part of my Celebrate Recovery experience, but I've learned that it's become a part of my everyday life, because I have to take an accounting at the end of each day what I said and what I did. By doing so, I wake up in the morning thinking about what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do, and that is always preceded by quiet time with God. And that's the one thing that I've learned. In order to be able to come to that point where you make that fearless moral inventory and you search deep in yourself, you better touch base with God first, because that will enable you to sort of get a reckoning of where you are, where you stand, and how God is working in your life. And again, you start that way in the morning, you end that way at night, and make it a routine. You get a level of a spiritual awakening.
Yeah. Richard, I know that's true in your life, because we do have been able to get together every once in a while and talk. And when we do, you do talk about, well, I did an inventory of what I've been doing in my life. And so it is a practice that you use on a regular basis. And that's, it's a powerful tool for you, isn't it?
Absolutely. Every single day.
Yeah. Give me a life verse. Give me a verse that means a ton to you.
Well, man, that goes for a while, but Proverbs 21:21, whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor.
Wow.
And I can't think of, three things that as men we want to have in our world. Honestly, love is going to find its way through all of us one way or another. How we demonstrate it is proof of how God works in our lives. And I think that if we have a constant prayer of pursuing that righteousness through love and love, God will bless us, and prosperity will come. And as far as honor, respect amongst other fellow Christians and people that are going through some of the same struggles you are. You build that relationship, and it's an honorable one. It's a commendable one. And like yourself, Tim, you've been a good friend, and we've been able to spend some good quality time together. And I honor that relationship. I think that's how I look at what honor is, as a gift that God's given us when it comes to our friendships.
Yeah, seeking Him hard.
Yeah.
Okay, last question, Richard. With all your experience, and I know that you do spend a lot of time with men that have come through or are you're trying to help them start going through 12 steps, but I know you spend a lot of time in other men's lives. What would you say to somebody walking in? We've got a couple new 12-step groups that just started. We've got a couple that are getting close to ending. We have people coming new to Thursday nights. What would you say to that person that is thinking about or just started in the program?
Well, stick to it. That's the bottom line. You're not here by chance. It's something I've told many people in a Thursday night, and to the crowd, is that you're not here by chance. God's got a plan for you. But the reality is you're here because you want a meaningful, purposeful, purpose-driven life. There's no better way than to attain that through Christ by connecting with people who are on the same path.
Yeah.
So stay connected, because victory comes in the process of clearing your head of all the distractions, hurts, habits, and hang-ups. And just stick with it, because the prize, if you will, comes at the end when you get the clarity of thought and the connectedness with God, and you build your relationship with your friends through CR and other faith-based organizations, and you find strength, and then you have more courage to live that way every day. So it would be stay connected.
Yeah.
To keep that short.
Stay the course.
Stay the course.
Joshua
Exactly.
Joshua 1:9 said, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not tremble or be dismayed, but because the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And I
Amen.
know that he's with us as we go through these times of finding ourselves and walking through the process with other men. So
That's right.
yeah. Hey, it's great to have you, Richard. I really enjoyed talking to you. And
Thank you, Tim.
I know you're heading on a vacation, and enjoy yourself. And we'll see you soon, Richard. We lost him. Anyway, have a great study, guys. Thanks.
Oh man, that was a great testimony, wasn't it? So thank you so much, Richard, for your honesty, for your transparency, and sharing some very deep things from your heart. I know a lot of us are going to be blessed tonight. Thank you, Tim, for facilitating. That was an amazing job, you guys. So one of the things that I just want to highlight is that Richard talked about the crisis point in his life, or the time when he came and he decided that he was not going to continue down the path that he was going. And that was when he came home after a night of drinking and pushed his son out of the way just so he could just get in bed and lay down. And I want to remind you that every crisis is a choice. And so you can make the choice to get off of this mad ride, drive a stake in the ground and saying, no more, I'm heading in a different direction. Or we can take another crisis and another crisis, but we do not know the damage that we're causing our own family or people that we love because we're not dealing with our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. So those of you that are in recovery, good job, you're here. Those of you that are thinking about recovery, you get to choose. When are you going to jump in? And then when a crisis time comes, use it as a change point. Tim talked about the scripture Joshua 1:9, and that is one of my favorite verses. It just brings so much strength to me. And for those of us in recovery, it's an amazing scripture that we need to be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And one of the first words in any of the principles is we. We made a decision to turn our lives over to the care of God. And so we're in this together. You're not alone. You are here, and we are going to support you, and you are going to support us, because together with God, we can have miracles in our lives. So I want to remind you of that. So tonight we're going to go to our small groups. If you haven't already gotten a text for the small group, women, you can text Candy at 805-296-9305. And the men can text Tim at 805-550-1212. And so we'll be going to the groups real soon. The question for tonight is, I want to know what was the crisis, or what was the turning point in your life that made you decide to come to Celebrate Recovery? And also talk about the testimony tonight. How did this testimony impact you? How did it change the way that you were thinking? How did it encourage you? How did it challenge you? So if there was something in the testimony that made a difference in your life, share that tonight too. Thank you so much, you guys. We love you, and we'll see you on Zoom.